In today's video, I want to share 7 ways that fasting can completely transform your health and your life. And I used to think that fasting was just about skipping meals. And I actually thought that it was a bad idea from the perspective that it might lead to muscle loss and inconsistency. Boy, was I wrong. In today's video, I'm going to share with you some of the science of fasting, the different formats you can incorporate fasting into your life, and how, if you use the practical strategies that I give you today, fasting can also transform your life for good. And these tips are going to range everything from how fasting can impact fat loss, longevity, cognitive health, and even how fasting can help you travel and prevent jet lag. This is a very powerful process that the body can get into in this fasted state. Let's get into today's video and unpack these 7 ways. Number 1, fasting can help you get leaner and lighter without needing to count calories. And this is amazing because many of us want to improve our body composition. We want to decrease body fat and increase or preserve muscle mass. And to do so, we need to dial in our nutrition, and to lose fat, be in a calorie deficit. That's part of the equation, and fasting makes being in a calorie deficit much easier and more sustainable. Because instead of having these tiny small meals spread throughout the day, if you compress your eating window and do this classic 16-8 fasting, where you have an 8-hour eating window and 16 hours of fasting throughout the day, you can still have 2, maybe 3 large meals of, let's say, 500 to 700 calories that are very satiating and still be in good calorie balance or a slight deficit. So it's very freeing. But the calories are just part of the aspect of fasting. What's also really cool is fasting literally improves your metabolic health. As we're looking to lose weight and get healthier, we want to become more insulin sensitive. And part of the process of becoming insulin sensitive is not spiking your blood sugar all the time. And the cool thing about that fasted state, that longer fasted state we create when we have daily fasting into the routine, is your body becomes a lot more insulin sensitive. Those blood sugar levels stay lower. Insulin becomes sensitized in your body, especially if you're also pairing in strength training, which over time leads to better metabolic health. Now, some practical tips on this. You want to pick a way of fasting that fits your routine and schedule. And I'm not one of those people out there that's going to say you need to do daily 16-8 intermittent fasting. If that works for you and your schedule, great, but it's absolutely not necessary. Here's a couple concepts that might be good. If you're someone that's super busy in the morning and you don't want to spend a lot of time making a breakfast, or you're just not that hungry in the morning, then just shift that first meal back or skip it entirely and have your first meal anywhere from 10 to noon. That is one practice and habit of fasting that can be very good. If you're someone that loves breakfast or exercises early in the morning, then have that breakfast meal and simply have an earlier dinner. There's many ways to compress that eating window. What I've really come to realize after practicing fasting for over a decade now is having that earlier dinner seems to be most beneficial for most people, because when we eat too late at night, it can disrupt sleep, lead to some blood sugar dysregulation. So now my preference is actually to shift that first meal back whenever I feel like it. If I want an early breakfast, cool, but if I'm also willing to be flexible and shift it back, but definitely try to have dinner a little bit earlier, it's gonna help you a lot. There's some people who like to do the OMAD, 1 meal per day, where they fast for like 20 hours and have a 2 to 4 hour eating window where they just have a ton of food, which is obviously gonna be around 1,000 to 2,000 calories. I think that can work if that fits your personality and you like to have this kind of binging experience in your day, but don't do that too late. I think it'd be optimal to do more around 5, 6, or 7 p.m., but no later than that, because that digestive stress will impact your sleep. Let's move on to benefit number 2. Number 2, fasting is your ticket to resetting anytime you need it. And this reset is both from a metabolic standpoint and from a habits perspective. And I want to talk about the habits first, because the process of being healthy long-term is all about consistency. And part of consistency is understanding how to get back on track anytime you're drifting. I'm sure you've had the experience of having some kind of free meal or cheat meal where you ate a bunch of foods that aren't the best for you. Yeah, they taste great, but you wake up the next day feeling bloated, inflamed, lethargic, and you're like, man, what did I just do? Your stomach feels heavy, you need to take a big poop, and you just don't feel great. This is where fasting is your ultimate tool to reset. It's so simple. You don't need to do anything but not eat and increase your hydration, and your body will begin to regulate and correct some of those imbalances that you created. I like to fast after any time I have a really big meal, and I fast until I feel light, until my bowels have had that really big bowel movement, and I no longer feel bloated. It's It's really that simple. It's a really beautiful and powerful habit for that perspective. And in fact, you can actually incorporate this into a protocol if you're the type of person that likes to have a cheat meal or a free meal, say on Friday night or Saturday night with your friends and family, then just fast the next day. This could be a fast that's maybe like 16 hours. It could be a full 24-hour fast, whatever you want, totally fine. But it's a really amazing tool from that perspective. And it also works too from a cellular and metabolic perspective as well. Because when we eat the wrong types of foods, it can create some inflammation in the GI tract. So fasting actually rests the digestive tract, allows your probiotics and your gut microbiome to rebalance, not being bombarded by a lot of crazy stuff. It allows all that excess sugar, typically from carbohydrates we get from those unhealthy meals, to be stored and then to be released and to re-regulate your blood sugar. Your body does all this automatically. Fasting is free and it's one of the best tools to reset. And you can also do some deeper fasting periodically throughout the year as a way to kind of reset and cleanse, if you will. Sometime around the spring and coming off the winter time, I like to do a 3-day fast, which is a very powerful practice that when you get into this deeply fasted state, research shows it actually stimulates your stem cell production, clears out a lot of these old damaged cells through this process called autophagy, renews your mitochondria, so it's like a really deep rejuvenating process when you get into a deeper fast. So also think about this, if you're the person who likes to really plan and schedule, you can use deeper fasting as a way to reset yourself seasonally. This is where fasting becomes a core cornerstone of your rhythms for success. Let's move into the next tip. Number 3, fasting increases brain function and mental performance. And a lot of people start a fasting practice because they want to improve their body composition and look better. But people become addicted to fasting practices because it makes them feel so good, so mentally sharp, so clear. It's one of the main reasons that I continue to fast on a weekly basis. And here's the science behind this. Fasting increases a protein called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, that actually stimulates the growth of new neurons in your brain. This is literally making you smarter. And if you have a fasting practice paired with a really good nutrition protocol that has all the fruits and the vegetables, the polyphenols, maybe lion's mane mushroom, you're gonna have so much stimulation in BDNF that you will literally feel clearer, sharper, and smarter over time. And when I look into what health means for me 10, 20 years from now, it's all about cognitive function. It's all about feeling light and clear and clean, and fasting is one of the best ways to do this. So the BDNF benefit is amazing. One other little tip I want to throw in here is I make a little homemade drink with some raw organic cacao powder, with some MCT oil, with some lion's mane mushroom. That drink, although I don't have it when I'm in a pure fasted state, is like rocket fuel for increasing BDNF. And then I do some fasting practices. Dang, I'm feeling so clean and clear. Anytime I want to be sharp and on, whether it's a meeting or a presentation, a video shoot, I stay in a fasted state. It's really that effective. Another cool aspect about fasting is it gets you metabolically flexible, meaning your blood sugar is stable during that fasted state, and as your fasting gets a little bit deeper, your body starts to produce more ketones in the liver. And ketones are very powerful fuel for keeping your brain feeling very sharp and clean. So when you begin to fast more into your routine, you become metabolically flexible. When you intake carbohydrates, it gets shuttled into the muscles, it can help improve athletic performance, but you're also producing ketones while you're fasting, so you get the best of all worlds. Let's move on to the next tip.
The new science is super clear. Mitochondria are essential for optimum health and longevity. See, mitochondria are the battery packs inside all of your cells that create ATP, giving you cellular energy. And as we age, our mitochondria become damaged and dysfunctional, leading to low energy, brain fog, fatigue, and slower recovery from exercise. The good news is this supplement called MitoPure, created by Timeline Nutrition, can help because it supports your health at a foundational level by encouraging renewal of your mitochondria. MitoPure is a precise dose of a rare compound called urolithin A that helps your body clear out dysfunctional mitochondria and create new healthy ones, giving you more energy, better workouts, and more endurance to achieve any goals you have this year. MitoPure is the only urolithin A supplement on the market clinically proven to target the effects of age-related cellular decline and deliver increases in muscle strength and endurance without any change in exercise. Timeline is offering 10% off your order of MitoPure. Go to timeline.com/FitFatherProject. That's TIMELINE.com/FitFatherProject to learn more.
By the way, if you're liking this YouTube video, please smash the like button to let the YouTube algorithm know that this video is awesome and should be shared to more people. It is a huge favor to me, and I'll really appreciate you for doing this. Thank you so much for supporting my work. Number 4, fasting makes travel way easier and can even prevent jet lag. I'm sure you've had the experience like me where you go to an airport and you're surrounded by a bunch of overpriced, unhealthy food. Fasting is one of the best things you can do on your travel days because it gives you freedom. You just put up that mental wall and block and you say, today I'm fasting. I'm not going to engage with any of this crap, which makes traveling way easier. You don't need to pack and bring all these crazy foods and snacks and buy all this stuff that doesn't make you feel good, eat the airplane pretzels and peanuts and have the soda, and then you're just all dysregulated. It's really powerful because fasting keeps your body in that light, clean metabolic state, and it actually makes it a lot easier to travel. You feel better when you get to your destination. And then when you get there, you can have a nice, proper meal and engage in the new location, and it just is a lot cleaner and a lot better way to do things. Also, fasting can help entrain your circadian rhythm and make it so you don't have jet lag. So let's say you're going on a really big trip, 10 to 20 hours of travel to a country across the world. If you have a regular time when you have your first meal of the day, you can just fast until you have that meal on the new time zone. And it basically gets your body resynced into this new schedule very quickly. It helps regulate your circadian rhythm. It works with your melatonin signaling. It's a really powerful practice. And this is what I do. I give myself the freedom when I have my travel days. It's such a better way to proceed. I hope you start to use this tip into your life. Number 5, fasting helps you understand your food cravings and differentiate between true hunger and mindless eating. When you're in the fasted state, you will occasionally feel hungry. And during those times, you just become aware of the hunger. You often drink some water, some tea, and then the hunger signal passes. And it's a very powerful experience to become more aware of these different urges and sensations come up, but not necessarily need to engage them. Most people who are unhealthy have the habit of every time they feel like they need a snack or they get a little bored, they go and they turn and they eat something. The problem with that is it actually trains your brain and your neurochemistry through dopamine to constantly seek and stay on this hamster wheel of have a sensation of hunger, go get a snack. Blood sugar spikes, then it drops, then you get back on this hamster wheel. Fasting helps disentangle this by creating spaciousness and more awareness. And it also works on deeper levels inside the brain. One of your brain's main hunger hormones is called ghrelin. When you're in a fasted state, ghrelin levels tend to balance out and you're not getting these constant spikes from having snacks and meals. And over time, this can make your appetite signaling a lot more regulated. People who feel they have degrees of sugar addiction and food addiction can start to rewire their neurochemistry through fasting. It is a very powerful practice and one of the great ways that fasting can reset your mind and your psychology in addition to your body. Let's move on to the next tip. Number 6, fasting regenerates your body and enhances your longevity. To live a long and healthy life, we want to build up our bodies through strength training, eating protein, and we also want to activate this deep catabolic machinery where we allow the metabolism to get into a deep fasted state and clean out all this metabolic junk and debris. In fact, some of our most cutting edge understandings of longevity and anti-aging is that we need to recycle damaged cells. There are senescent cells, which are basically these zombie-like cells that stay in suspended animation. They're taking up our energy, but they're not very functional. When we get into a fasted state, your metabolism in your body gets very thrifty. It starts to break down all these damaged immune cells. It starts to recycle your damaged mitochondria in a process called mitophagy. And then inside your cells, you get this process called autophagy, where your cells digest all these damaged proteins and basically clean themselves out. This is the deep catabolic machinery that heals our body. Fasting is truly healing on a cellular level. And as the fast gets longer, you get additional benefits. When you extend a fast into more of the 48-hour, 72-hour mark, these autophagy benefits get even deeper, and your body begins to stimulate stem cell production. Stem cells are these master progenitor cells that can turn into all different things depending on where they are in the body. When you go into a deep fast, I'm talking a 72-hour plus fast, your body begins to increase stem cell populations and activities, which is truly rejuvenating for your body. Look, you have this technology embedded into your very biology that you can tap into and access by doing a practice like deeper fasting. Now, I don't suggest you go out there and you try 72-hour fasts right away. I suggest that you build up. First with 24-hour fasting once a week, which typically looks like having dinner on one day, then just fasting and having fluids until dinner the next day. Then the next level is to push it overnight to a 36-hour fast where you fast to the next morning. And then if you're feeling good, you can extend it out to a 72-hour fast or something like that. I like to do a practice like that around once a quarter, a couple times a year, as basically like a reset in a longevity protocol. Fasting is so healing. And I want to really emphasize this point because a lot of people get confused. I see it in the comments all the time. Hey, I thought we're supposed to be eating a lot of protein and a lot of calories and building up muscle. You're telling me now to fast and not eat? This feels like a contradiction. Well, this is the yin and the yang of body health. We need both aspects in balance. Yes, on a regular basis, we want to strength train, feed the nutrients, have lots of protein. That is the anabolic process that stimulates the cellular machinery related to insulin, related to mTOR, related to building up tissue. And then we also want to engage this catabolic breakdown process where your cells sense low energy, where AMP kinase is another cellular signal is higher and then initiates all this cleaning up cascade. It's building and destruction, construction, deconstruction. It's like this beautiful symphony that we see in nature that's also mirrored in our bodies. That's why fasting can help you live a longer life. Let's get into the final tip here. And finally, number 7, fasting is a deep practice of inner discipline and self-control. It's no surprise that some form of fasting is incorporated into every major religion in the world. Because what fasting does, it gives you the ability to break free from the impulses to food and different kinds of things that enslave us. Fasting invites an experience of lightness and purity. It gives you the energy, it gives you the clean feeling. It's also the experience of exerting mental strength and discipline in the face of natural urges. And I think this is a metaphor for all areas of life. Anyone who's trying to break any addiction to drugs, to alcohol, to pornography has these kind of desires and impulses that they must become aware of and have restraint in the face of. And this is why fasting can help transform many other areas of your life, because it's actually the process of training the mind while transforming the body. It is free, it is available, and it's something you can incorporate into your life on a daily basis. Now, to kind of wrap a little bit of this up in terms of the protocols, there are some people who like to do the 16-8 fasting and do some form of daily intermittent fasting. That's great. But I don't think that's actually really giving the deep mental and spiritual discipline that you get from doing longer fasting. This is why I find that doing a 24-hour fast, a dinner-to-dinner fast, or breakfast-to-breakfast fast once per week gives you some of these spiritual benefits. And maybe you can even tie it into a particular day on the weekend or some day where you have some quiet reflective time and make it a really enhanced experience. I highly recommend it. I had a powerful experience last year where I did a darkness retreat in Mexico, where I went to a retreat center where I stayed in a completely pitch black room for 7 days. And I fasted for 5 of those days. And I'll tell you, I have never felt more powerful, more clear, and more spiritually connected than being completely internal in a fasted state for 5 days. Like life-changing stuff. Very extreme. I can talk more about that if you want to hear more about that experience. I just want to say, for me, I know in my spiritual deepening, in my awareness of my urges, in my increase of my self-control, and of the expression of my true power and my gifts, fasting is a massively powerful tool. And I hope that you really do start to play around with this and experience the benefits on many levels. Whatever level resonates with you, whether it's physical recomposition, energy, cognitive health, travel convenience, or spiritual benefits, fasting is massively powerful. And if you want to understand a lifestyle that incorporates good basic daily nutrition, consistent exercise that is joint friendly, time efficient, and age appropriate for busy parents over 40, and habits like fasting into a holistic plan that's fun, that's supportive, and easy to stick to, I highly recommend you scroll below in the description and check out our Fit Father and Fit Mother Foundations programs. We have 6-week programs where we basically help you install all these habits into your life. We fast with you on a weekly basis. We give you the nutrition, the recipes. We exercise together. It is a really powerful experience. If you want to transform your life in 6 weeks and build the foundational health habits that'll serve you for the rest of your life, check out those programs. I'd love to invite you to come deeper with me and my team, experience the amazing results of the people you see right here on these videos. These are our real program members who are incorporating habits like fasting, like strength training, hydration, proper supplementation for people over 40. The results are astounding when you get a holistic lifestyle in place. And if you need help, my team and I at Fit Father and Fit Mother will be so grateful to support you. Thank you, my friend. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found this helpful, please hit the like button to help this video spread across the internet and reach more people who could benefit from fasting. Share this with somebody you love, especially if you're someone who's into fasting and you've been trying to convey to somebody, this has changed my life. Here's the actual benefits. Send this to somebody and I'll be able to help impact them on your behalf and give this transmission to them. And again, if you have other content suggestions or any video requests or topics you'd like me to cover, please comment below. Let's chat. Even if you have questions as well. I'm planning on creating a couple more videos on fasting, covering some more FAQ stuff, like what kind of drinks can I have during fasting? How do I incorporate fasting if I want to build muscle and not lose fat? I have lots of great content on this topic coming soon. So stay tuned to the channels. Subscribe if you're not. Please hit the thumbs up button to help this video spread. This is Dr. Anthony Balduzzi signing off from Fit Father and Fit Mother Projects. I'll see you around the channel and I'll talk to you very soon, my friend.